Hello, Shelley here. Welcome to the video for the first of my Compass Rose series of 4 patterns. This is the pattern for the North Granny Square, designed for Hobbii using Hobbii yarns. Today I'm going to be using the Friends Cotton 8/6 in my video, which is what this one is, but you can use any yarn. These are the 8/4 cotton, this one is the 8/8 cotton, and this is the cotton silk blend. So any yarn will be fine. Alright, some extra things that it might be handy to have on hand are some stitch markers. A scrap of yarn may really help you if you're new to my patterns, some scissors and a yarn needle. Alright, so I'm going to be talking in US terminology in this pattern, but I'm sure if you are used to converting it will be a simple matter for you to do. Alright, now we're going to start with a magic circle. So I'm laying the yarn on my hand, crossing it, pulling it through, and then going back and grabbing the working yarn to do a chain, and that is a magic circle. So as you pull this, it gets tighter, and we're going to work this way over the 2 strands. Okay, round 1 begins with chain 3, a starting chain which counts as the first stitch. So let's go. Oops. 1, 2, 3. And then we need to do 15 double crochets in the magic ring over the 2 strands. That's 1, 2. Now in reality, I rarely do chain 3 at the start of a round. I actually do a false stitch instead, which blends in better than chain 3. But I'll stick with chain 3 for this pattern, and in the next pattern I will do my false stitches instead. I do have a YouTube video explaining how to do it on my channel, and you're already here, so go search that for that if you wish. Alright, you don't need to watch me do all 15. I will do that and show you how to join up. Okay, here we are. I have done my chain 3 and then 15 double crochets, so now it's time to join. So I'm going to find the tail of my magic circle, and I'm going to hold the base of that last stitch as I pull the magic circle tight. There we go. Alright, now we need to join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of our starting chain. So the best way to find it is, look for your first real stitch. So there's my first real double crochet. So this little loop here on the back is the top of your 3rd chain. That's where you should join with a slip stitch. And what that does, just using that single strand of your chain 3, it makes that chain 3 look more like a capital P, which is what your regular double crochet stitch looks like. Okay, round 2. We're going to chain 3 again. And if you struggle to read, as soon as you do that chain 3, pop a stitch marker in that top strand as soon as you've made it, and that will show you where to join at the end. Okay, now the pattern says to do a double crochet in the same stitch as slip stitch. So exactly where that single strand, that's where you work your next double crochet. So what we're doing is we're starting with half of a corner, and we're going to come back and finish this corner in a minute. We're going square. Okay, in the next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. The next stitch, we'll do a half double crochet again. And now we're up to working a corner. So in this one stitch, we're going to work a double crochet double crochet US terminology, and then we're going to do what's called a half treble or half triple crochet. So yarn over twice in that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and now yarn over and pull through all 3. So it's slightly shorter than a triple, but slightly longer than a double. And then we do a double in that same stitch. So we're going to do 3 stitches in that one stitch, and that's our corner. Corner is those 3 stitches. Then we're back to the side again. So a half double, a single, a half double, and the corner again. So a double, a half triple, yarn over twice, in, through 2, through 3, and then a double in that same stitch. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you how to finish off that last corner. Okay, I've been all the way around. I've done my last half, single and half. So now this bit here, it looks like it's a stitch to work into. It's not. That's actually the slip stitch join of the last round. So what we need to do now is finish off this corner. Remember, all the other corners had 3 stitches. This one's only got 2. We started in the middle stitch. So we need to do 1 stitch in the same space as the first ones. So where this one is, this hole here, is where we're going to work our last stitch. We're going to go over that slip stitch join, and we're doing a double crochet in that same hole, and then we join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. And if you put the stitch marker in, there's no doubt, let's put your hook in there and join. Done. There we go, round 2. All right, now round 3 is just a small stitch round, single crochet stitch round. I've left the stitch marker in there because that's going to show you where to work the first stitch. It says single crochet in same stitch as slip stitch. So exactly where that stitch marker is, that's where we join with the slip stitch. It's the same place that we do our first stitch. I'm going to take that out now. So single crochet. Now because single crochets are hard to read because they're small, as soon as you make the first one, put a stitch marker in it. Again, that's going to show you where to join at the end of the round. Then it's simply a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you should be up to the middle stitch of the corner. 1, 2, 3, we are. So in here we're going to work our corner in this 1 stitch, which is a single crochet, chain 2, and then a single crochet. Done. And that's all it is. 5 stitches, corner, 5 stitches, corner, 5 stitches, and then I'll show you the end. Okay, here we are at the end again. Now again, just let's read what's going on. This here is the slip stitch join. We're ignoring that. We're going to do, get my hook out of the way, sorry. So the stitch marker is in the first stitch that we made. We need to do a stitch in the same space, that first stitch was marked into. So here, this is where we're going to join to. This is where we need to do our last stitch of the corner. So we started with half of the corner. All the other corners are stitch, chain 2, stitch. We've only done 1 stitch. So now we're going to do a stitch in the same space. So not where the stitch marker is, underneath it. That's where you work at this last stitch. Now, you might be tempted to chain 2 and join with a slip stitch, which is common. But I do things a little bit differently so that we end up in the middle of a corner. So instead I've got a blog post linked to in the pattern that explains this in more detail, but let's get making. We're going to chain 1, grab a scrap of yarn and put it in the gap before you join. That's going to show you what happens in the next round. So in the gap, now poke your hook into that first stitch, leave the stitch marker in, and join with a single crochet. So yarn to the front, then yarn over and pull through 2. So we're finished on the point of a corner. If we had joined with a slip stitch, chain 2 and slip stitch, we'd be above this stitch, but we want to be above the corner. All right, now we're going to start getting more interesting. Round 4, we're going to start with a single crochet over the joining single crochet. That's why we put this scrap of yarn in. Where that yarn is, that's where you poke your hook. So we're actually encasing that joining stitch with a single crochet. And again, whenever you start with a single crochet, pop a stitch marker in it as soon as you make it, because it's going to help see where to join to. There we go. Now, why did I leave that other stitch marker in there? Because that's actually the first stitch of the side. It just makes it easier to read what's going on. So now I've identified it. We'll have a look what I need to do. I need to do a single crochet in the next stitch, which is where that stitch marker is. So I'll take that one out now. Single crochet in that stitch. Then a half double crochet in the next stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch, a half triple in the next stitch, that's the yarn over 2, in, through 2, through 3, oops, double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet, and a single crochet. And then we're up to the 2 chain corner space. In that hole, we do a corner again. So single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And then we do the side again. Single, half double, double, half triple, double, half double, and single, and so on. And I'll keep going and show you the end. Okay, our shape's getting interesting now. I've done my last side, so now I need to finish that first corner, which is where this scrap of yarn comes in again. Because the pattern says work a single crochet in the same space as first stitch. So again, where that scrap of yarn is, poke your hook in, work a single crochet, chain one, and let's move the scrap of yarn up to this gap. Just to help us read, there's no shame in using tools to help you see. And then we're going to join with a single crochet to this first single crochet, leaving that stitch marker in. Right, done. So now round 5, pretty similar to the last one, just different stitches along the sides. So we start with a stitch over the joining stitch where the scrap of yarn is. And then we do a half double in the next 2 stitches. So this, where this stitch marker is where the first one is. I'll take that one out, actually, and I'll pop it in that first single crochet. Okay, so a half double in the next 2 stitches. One, two. A double in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. Now in the next stitch, which should be the middle one along the side, you are going to do a half triple, so yarn over twice, in, through 2, through 3, then a triple, this is all in the same stitch, and then another half triple, all in that one middle stitch of the side. Then it's a double in the next 2, 1, 2, and a half in the last 2 of the side. 1, 2, and then our corner in the 2 chain space, single, chain 2, and a single. There you go. So do that side 3 more times and I'll show you the end. Okay, our shape's even more interesting now. Now all the same as what we did at the end of the last round. Stitch in the same space as our first stitch where that yarn is. Chain 1, grab your yarn, move it up, and join with a single crochet to that first stitch. Sorry, become all fingers and thumbs. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, join with a single crochet. All right, good to go. All right, round 6. Start with a single crochet over the joining stitch, so where that scrap of yarn is. Grab a stitch marker, pop it in that first stitch as soon as you make it. And now we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, so where that previous stitch marker is, which I will take out now. Just a single crochet. Now you're going to chain 2 and do a double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you should be at that middle stitch of the 3 and 1, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time. So a half triple, a triple, oops, that wasn't a triple, and a half triple in that same stitch again, then a double in the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, chain 2, and then in that last stitch of the side, a single crochet, and the same corner we've done the last few rounds. Single crochet in the 2 chain space, chain 2, single crochet. All right, funky looking. I'll show you how to end off. All right, just finishing round 6 now we need to do a stitch in the same space as our first stitch, so where that stitch marker is, sorry, the scrap of yarn is, chain 1 and join to that first stitch with a single crochet. Cool. All right, now we're going to do start with a different way. So we're going to chain 3 at the start, or a false stitch if you prefer. Again, if you're not sure where to join at the end of rounds, pop a stitch marker in that single loop there of that third chain. Right, now it says to do a double crochet over the joining single crochet. So again, that scrap of yarn is where, oops, I didn't move the scrap of yarn. Sorry, you've seen me do it before, so I'm sure you can figure it out. Move the scrap of yarn before you join. Okay, so where that scrap of yarn is, do a double crochet. Done. Now this stitch marker shows the first stitch of the side, and we need to do a double crochet in that. I'll take it out now. And in the next stitch as well. Then we have this 2 chain space. We're going to ignore that completely, and we're going to do a back post half double around the next 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook around the post in the back, fold your work together and do a half double. Yarn over, up, down, you're working on the back. So we've done a half double, back post half double around those 2 stitches. Now around the next 9 stitches, we're going to do a back post single crochet. So no yarn over, poke my hook around, up this side, down that side, single crochet. 1, 2, 3, you're working on the back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last one, 9. We should have 2 stitches left before the 2 chain space, and we do. So we're going to do a back post half around those 2. So yarn over, around the post, fold it together if that helps you. Back post half double again. Skip that 2 chain space, and these last 2 stitches we do a double in them. 1 and 1 in that one. And in the 2 chain corner space we do a double, a half triple, and a double. And that's what gives the cool raised effect of our pattern. All right, I'll show you the end in a moment. Okay, here I am at the end. I just need to do a stitch in the same space as my first stitches. So double crochet where that yarn is. And this time I'm just going to join with a slip stitch to where I put that stitch marker in that third loop of the starting chain. Done. All right, 2 more rounds to go. Okay, we're going to start with chain 3 again, or a false stitch if you are keen on that. And we'll pop a stitch marker in that loop, double crochet in the same stitch as slip stitch, so where that stitch marker is. It's not marking the first stitch, it's marking the corner stitch in this case. A scrap of yarn can disappear now. So double crochet in that same stitch. So we've done 2 of the 3 corner stitches. Now along the sides we are going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. Now the next 2 we're going to crochet together, so it's the last stitch in a stitch in the first back post stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, stop there, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull it to the front, yarn over through 2, and now yarn over through 3. So we started 2 stitches, but we only have 1 stitch at the top. Now we're going to do a half double in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a single the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. A half double in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Now we're going to crochet the next 2 together, so the last back post stitch in the first regular stitch, through 2, stop, yarn over in the next stitch, through 2, yarn over through 3, then a double in the next 2, and then we should be at the corner, which is the middle stitch of the 3 in 1. We do that corner again, so a double, a half triple, and a double. All right, so that's that side. I'll show you the end. Okay, here we are at the end. I've done my last 2 stitches in, and now I need to do a stitch in the same stitch as my first stitches. So that's my chain 3, and this is the first other corner stitch. So where that one is, here, in the middle one of the previous round, that's where we need to do our last double crochet. And it is the last double crochet of this pattern. And then we join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of your starting chain or your false stitch. All right, one more round to go, and it's really easy. It's a single crochet round. So we start with a single crochet in the same stitch as your slip stitch. So there, pop a stitch marker in it, make it easy to see where to join. Then it's simply a stitch, single crochet in every stitch along the side, and in the corner, in the middle stitch of the corner, so around here, it's a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. I'm sure you can do that. I will show you how to finish off at the end. Bear with me. Okay, I've been all the way around. I just need to do a stitch in the same stitch as my first stitch, so down there, that's where I'm going to join to. This is where that first stitch has worked. Now, because we don't need to finish in the middle of the corner because we're finishing this colour, we're going to finishing the square, chain 2, and this time we are going to join with a slip stitch to that first stitch. So just pulling it through everything, and we are good to finish off. And weave in your ends, give it a block, and there you have it, the Compass Rose North square. I hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to check out the other patterns, the North, South, East and West patterns. Thank you. See you later.